was not truly lost, that the prophecy of the Midnight Sun was still a threat. I cannot do what you ask, but there is a contingency. To know it, you must know how it came to pass. It all started with that fanatic, Hiram Shaw. Your predecessor thought witches were competition and sought to root them out. Shaw was formidable, more than he should have been. We battled him for years, to a stalemate. Amidst the conflict, life went on. For Lilith more than I. Love led her to do what all the blood forswear. Bear a child of human origin. But a sickness took hold in Salem. First, it struck her husband. Then, her child. Desperation led my sister to approach Shaw and beg him to save her child. What she discovered changed everything. Shaw possessed a dark and ancient book, said to be written by the elder god Cathar. The Darkhold. We knew it well, for the blood had spent centuries containing the aftermath of its vile magic. It could not remain in his hands. My sister and I gave everything we had to force him back. And as I sealed him away forever, Lilith chose to betray everything for which we stood. She knew the danger of reading or even touching the Darkhold. But she sought to perform a ritual drawn from its wicked pages.
No! What have you done? What have you done? Why?
I'll spare your child's life, but your soul's the price.
I will do anything to protect my child.
I knew what must be done. But in a moment of weakness, I damned the entire world.
Leave! I will care for the child, but you can never return!
Soon after, her child recovered. I did as I promised. Lilith did not.
I'll spare your child.
As you command. Our contingency is the page torn from the Darkhold. You know it as the Parchment of Power. It resides in the hands of Jonathan Blaze, one of the few people it cannot twist and tempt. If the prophecy does yet come to pass, can I count on your support to retrieve it?
Sarah, when have I ever let you down?
We can't rely on Dr. Strange alone. We'll need to form a team with the best. The toughest. The fastest. The deadliest. And someone who can bring them all together.
Previously on Midnight Suns.
What have you done? Why?
I spare your child's life, but your soul's price.
I would do anything to protect my child. As you command. We can't rely on Dr. Strange alone. We'll need to form a team. Relax.
Sorry. I don't know if I'm ready.
When the great Agatha Harkness tells me her apprentice is ready, I believe her. So should you. Now, our first candidate is Ilyana Rasputina, or as she's known by the X-Men, Magic. As a young Russian child, she vanished from her family's farm. She resurfaced as a young adult, and ruler of Limbo.
What do we know about her?
Due to her mutant abilities and her age, Ilyana was admitted to Xavier's school.
Is she still with the X-Men?
Not since her graduation.
Why did she leave?
She prefers to work alone.
She sounds promising, but it's not the 18th century. Why recruit someone who's good with a sword?
She's the queen of Limbo. In her hands, it's far more than a sword.
approach her?
That is entirely up to you.
Why do you run from me? I offered you a throne. My only price was obedience. Without me, you are truly alone.
Yet.
Why resist? There are too many.
You cannot contain me.
Hi, I'm Wanda. I like your catchphrase. Now, let's see what we're actually dealing with. Looks like you have this covered. I'll make sure none get behind you.
Logan,
Sarah, what are you doing here?
the same as you,
Watching over a youngin'?
and doing my best not to step in.
Ain't easy. But they gotta learn to fend for themselves.
Why are you here?
I was looking for you and found all this. I hope I didn't step on your toes.
No. You knew not to fight my battle for me. So what do you want from me?
I don't want anything, but I wouldn't mind someone I could trust to fight beside me. I can explain why, but we should get off the streets. There's a place I'm staying that's safe.
Nowhere is safe. Not from them.
The Abbey is outside of reality as we know it. Whoever those creatures serve won't be able to find you.
You should know. I don't do teams.
Neither do I. That's why you're perfect for my new team.
Looks like someone made a friend. Give my best to Agatha, would you?
Hello and welcome to another developer live stream for Marvel's Midnight Suns. I'm Rachel Sema, your host and senior producer here at Firaxis Games. I'm joined by Jake Solomon, creative director of Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Hi, everybody.
And Garth DeAngelis, franchise producer for Marvel's Midnight Suns. So we're getting super close to launch now, just a few weeks away. December 2nd is when Marvel's Midnight Suns goes live, so it's time to get in all of those pre-orders. And for those of you who have not seen much of the game, can you tell us a little bit about that, Jake?
I can. If anybody can, I can. So Marvel's Midnight Suns is a tactics RPG set in the Marvel Universe, set in the supernatural, the darker side of the Marvel Universe, where you, as the hunter, a brand new hero in the Marvel Universe, you lead other heroes from across the Marvel Universe in combat. But, and as we're going to show today, you also lead them outside of combat. You live alongside them. You live alongside these legends and get to form relationships with them, get to see them talk outside of combat. And that's a lot of what we're going to be showing today.
That's right. And can you talk a little bit more in depth about what we're going to be looking at today, Garth?
Oh, I'm sorry, I stole that from you.
No, you
want me to handle this?
You just set it up. You
Okay.
teed it up
You teed
perfectly
it
on
up.
a platter.
Right.
I appreciate it. I am incredibly excited. I'm actually giddy to show off this side of the game because we've been talking a lot about living amongst the legends. And I think this is a moment in time for all of you that are with us on the stream. I know we're incredibly excited to have you
Yes.
with us because this is a moment in time that we have the opportunity to represent the rest of the dev team that have worked so hard on this new area of the game that Firaxis has never dived into before.
Yeah.
And that is having an RPG tagged to our classic strategy tactical gameplay. It's unlike anything that you all have ever played before, so I can't wait to share with you what that game loop is. The Abbey is the headquarters of the Hunter. This is where you go back with the Midnight Suns, and in between missions, you get to relax with them, you get to engage in conversations and different hangout activities, and do a whole boatload more, which we're going to show you. And I think we actually have a cool asset that we'll be able to share to set that up now.
Absolutely. So first, I want to plug that we will be doing a couple tactical missions during this live stream. So we are going to be having a live voting poll to see who we're going to use as our player choice character for our second tactical battle that we go through. And as Garth alluded to, we are going to also be showing you a trailer for the Abbey. So let's roll that now.
So cold, but the air burns with every breath. Has it been so long? I know this place.
Well, we can fast forward through the tour then. The Abbey is still, well, you know, the Abbey. Dorms, war room, library, a few places to chill, and, whatever the hell the Forge is. Have to say, for a haunted transient castle raised on the cursed grounds of Old Salem, it's pretty cozy.
Like most things on the grounds here, there's more to this place than meets the eye. This area is particularly attuned to the forces of magic. That's why the Elder God's influence was so prevalent here, and why our sanctuary here has remained all but impregnable over the centuries. Not what you were expecting, is it?
Now, Hunter, tell us what you see.
I raced through the Abbey grounds, angry, terrified. It is too late. We were not ready for this fight. I will bring the team together. We know our goal. Now we need to do the work.
So, that's a good thing, right?
Charlie! Before we begin, is there anything else I should know?
Yeah, anything goes. Just don't touch the shades.
We hope that that trailer got you super excited to be living amongst the legends in the Abbey in Marvel's Midnight Suns. Today we're going to start off our stream with an exciting combat mission, so I will throw that to you, Garth and Jake, to cue us up.
Yeah, before we get to go back to the Abbey and show off all the RPG stuff, there's two sides of the game, right? So you are playing in combat. Every time you complete a combat mission, that's when you get to go back to the Abbey. So we're going to get through this combat mission. Garth, tell us who we have here.
Yeah, sure. So we have the Hunter. We have Magic, who you just saw in one of the prequel shorts a few minutes ago. And then we also have our man Blade. So this is a good loadout of the Midnight Suns. And they have a relatively early game.
Yeah, and the Hunter's someone great to talk about, right? So the Hunter is a brand new character in the Marvel Universe, the first fully customizable original superhero in the Marvel Universe. We designed the Hunter with Marvel. And they're not just customizable in appearance. They're very customizable in appearance, but they're also customizable in gameplay. So the Hunter has over 3 times as many abilities as the other heroes, because we want you to be able to choose how your Hunter plays in combat. And there are multiple branches of abilities you can pull from, like this, for example, Whip. That's a Dark Hunter ability. And what that means is that it's super powerful, but it has a drawback. All Hunter Dark abilities have a little bit of a drawback. And that one there discards a random card from your hand when you use it.
Yep.
But this Hunter we've built to be pretty balanced, right? We've chosen abilities from across the different ability branches, right?
Yep, that's right. So yeah, we're going to talk a ton about the Hunter. To set the stage for the viewers as well, too, we've showed a lot of different combat. I don't think we've shown, have we played a Protect Device mission yet? I'm not sure if we've done that, but it's one of my favorite objective types. And so you have to destroy devices sometimes. In this case, you have to protect a very important device from Hydra, who want to take it out. And any good tactical game, you have the base mechanics, but then you have wrinkles on the objectives up top.
Yep.
So these, you have to make decisions. Order of operations are so critical when you're playing combat. And these types of objectives really add wrinkles to those types of decisions. So do you want to tell what those little flags mean?
So you've got to weigh all of your objectives. You've got to take out the enemies, and we're facing Hydra here. But some of these enemies aren't attacking you. They're attacking the device that you need to protect. So you kind of got to figure out, can I take out, who should I go for? The biggest threat to my heroes? Or should I go for the biggest threat to the device I'm trying to protect? Yep. And then as the mission goes on, that device gets a little more beat up, then you really have to start taking risks and say, I cannot let this thing get hit one more time. And so, yeah, you're always weighing those different choices. Aunt Magic, of course, my favorite character, with her awesome ability to knock people around.
That's right. I want to set that up. But we still have one heroism we can use, and as you can see, this handy-dandy explosive will take out this minion over here.
Right, so just to recap, you can play abilities from your hand down at the bottom, and then you can also use the environment. When you're a superhero, what we say internally is the environment is the battlefield is your playground.
Battlefield's your playground, yep.
Right, and so, which it should be. If you're a superhero, you should be able to do whatever you want. So you can use the environment to your advantage, of course.
And for viewers who haven't seen our last streams, can you talk a little bit about the archetypes of the characters that we're playing with today?
Well, I don't want to reward people who don't tune into our streams, but yes, I will. Yes, of course. So the heroes we have, the Hunter we talked about. We also have Blade and Magic. So Blade, everybody knows Blade. Well, I hope everybody knows Blade.
You gotta know Blade.
He's the Daywalker, right? So he is half vampire. He's able to walk in the daylight, and yet he has all the powers of a vampire. In our game, tactically, he is a straight-ahead damage dealer. So he is awesome at dealing damage to single targets, and he can split up his attacks and chain those attacks to multiple targets. He also is good at imparting the bleed status effect. So as he gets more powerful, he'll start to inflict bleed on the people he attacks, and that means they'll continue to lose damage over time. So he is great damage dealer. Magic, her role is kind of control. So she can push people around the battlefield. She can bunch people together. So Magic is a really great teammate to work with other AoE heroes. Whoa, that was awesome. There we see her kind of controlling units, enemies on the battlefield, knocking them around. So yeah, that's kind of the role that Magic and Blade fill. And the Hunter, as I said before, can really fill almost any tactical role based on the abilities you pick and choose over the course of the game.
So I want to target these elites over here. Because I believe they're both targeting the device.
Okay.
Yep, looks like they are. I have one card play left. Can I take them out with Gather? Yes.
We did get a question from the Order of Dylan on Twitch. Can you clarify how the Hunter's light and dark spec works? Is there a situation where you declare a path and only have access to those cards, or can you truly set up a deck with anything from all branches?
Oh, I am glad you asked, Order of Dylan. So you can pick and choose from any of those branches, and being light and dark, it is much more nuanced than just choosing your abilities. It affects how you talk to other heroes, so you'll have the option when talking with heroes. We may see that when we're back in the Abbey. When you're talking to other heroes, you may have some dialogue responses that will come off as light, some that will come off as dark. And based on those choices you make, that will push the Hunters what we call the balance. It'll shift that balance, light and dark. It doesn't matter how light you are or how dark you are. You can use abilities still from any branch, although there are benefits from pushing yourself really far into the dark path or really far into the light path, and even staying balanced. So there are a lot of benefits to those, but you can build your Hunter out to be whatever you want. And there are benefits to that for sure.
Right, and so as a player, you're making the decision of light or dark, which will impact combat in the Abbey space. Is that correct?
Yep, it'll impact your interactions with the heroes. It'll impact the rewards you receive. You receive rewards based on the path you go down, and it'll impact, and then of course the abilities you play in combat can affect that balance as well. But you will always, even if you're the most light Hunter, you'll still have access to the dark abilities, for the most part, I would say.
How are you doing, Garth?
Doing okay. There's a lot of reinforcements coming in, but I think the device is in good shape. So I'm continuing to target the units that want to attack it, and we have cleared them out except for this guy right here who is currently being protected by the shield guard, which again, talk about great wrinkles to make interesting decisions.
Oh.
I'm not able to access this guy right now because the shield guard is protecting him. So I'm gonna, you also get mission cards that can help you mitigate that, like protect the device. I just redrew one, maybe erroneously. But if you want to talk about those mission cards a little bit too, those are really neat.
Yeah, so in the course of playing missions, some enemies may have, when you knock them out, they'll grant you a new card that can help push the direction of combat one way or another. And so you'll see when the mission starts, you'll see some of them will have little card icons on them. And if you knock that enemy out, you'll get this reward of this mission card that you can play. And they can do anything, right? They can taunt all the enemies on the battlefield and grant you a ton of block, or they can give you this huge offensive boost. There are tons and tons of mission cards with different rewards. And again, it just kind of gives you, as you were talking about that order of operations in a tactics game, you're like, well, should I take out, who has, you can see one of them has a mission card.
Yes.
Is it the shield guard though?
We'll be able to tell in a second. I'm not sure. This guy's attacking. Let's see, our device is taking some damage, so I better take him out quickly.
And as a reminder, we are running a Twitter poll at Midnight Suns. So if you want to help us choose who our player choice character for the second tactical battle will be, head on over there and vote in our Twitter poll.
All right. Let's see, I want to get a good lineup attack here.
Oh, wait, okay, can you highlight that elite real quick? So we'll show the mission cards we talked about. He's got, offensive rush, right? So if you play that, then for the rest of the mission, your heroes have a nice boost to offense.
So I'm going to try to build up some heroism here. I luckily have some quick attacks and some minions on the battlefield.
Position magic so you could move her into position and knock this guy out.
Jake, we did get another question from YouTube. Does the light/dark split affect the ability to get the end game cards for the opposite path?
My God, YouTube, that's an enormous corporation. I am honored that you have tuned in. I'm sorry, would you repeat that question again?
Does the light/dark split affect the ability to get the end game cards from the opposite path? Can you have the best of both worlds, basically?
How do people? Hey, how do people? That's a very good question, actually. Okay, what I'll say is, yes. Okay, so the legendary versions of the Hunter's branches, yes, they are affected by your balance over the course of the game. However, and I don't want to reveal how, you can even acquire the legendary cards of the opposite branch of your Hunter, but it's not easy and I'm not going to reveal how, but it can be done. So we don't ever want to completely close the door, but yes, acquiring the legendary light ability or the legendary dark ability of the Hunter will be affected by the balance rate you take. And what a good question. Must have been a designer on our team.
That's right.
But yes, good question.
We got to keep some things mysterious.
Yes.
Some surprises when you play.
We are down at the tail end of this.
How are you doing?
One shield guard. Let's take him out with some flair.
You're doing fine.
Yeah.
Remind everybody that we have 8 difficulty levels, right?
We do.
So all the way up to Ultimate 3. We don't know what Garth is playing on.
This is Ultimate 3. Ultimate 3.
Oh, okay.
Just don't check the. We're not going to pause and check the
That's
options.
amazing. You are doing amazing.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah. Now I'm going to get admonished probably for getting 1. So what do you think I got? 1 star? 2?
Well, let's see.
No, 2.
Turns.
There's a lot of turns there.
Yeah, to earn the best reward for missions, you really have to.
Oh!
3
Nice
stars. Nice work.
Nice work.
That's right, Joe Weinhofer. That's right.
Oh my goodness.
Poor
Joe.
Don't worry about the difficulty to change.
It's showing on there right now. It's
oh no! Oh, let's move past there. Let's move past, guys. All right.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and complete sort of the mission loop or the gameplay loop, and we're gonna head into the Abbey now to take a look around and check out some of the awesome features that players can expect there.
Oh, this is exciting. We finally get to show this whole section of the game.
We do, and give us one moment. We're going to be jumping forward slightly into the Abbey.
In the past, Jake, you've talked a little bit about how the Abbey came to be in Midnight Suns. Can you talk a little bit about that as we load this up?
Yes, so we probably didn't envision the Abbey becoming as big as it was. Some would say feature creep, and we would say no, it blossomed. Feature blossom, we would call this. What happened is that, we wanted to make a game with Marvel heroes that we loved, and we always planned to have this base that you could walk around. But what we found is that as you're walking around this base, you would see Captain Marvel, you would see Nico, you'd see Blade, and you're like, I want to talk to them. At any point, I need to talk to them, and I want them to comment on the mission we just went on, and I want to form a relationship with them. And it just kept growing. The things that we knew, like the fantasy that we felt as players that we were trying to fulfill, we knew that the game just had to grow and grow. And then eventually we realized, we kind of turned to each other, like, you realize we're making an RPG.
Yeah, it wasn't enough to do justice, I think, to the IP. And also for what our team wanted to do to grow relative to something like XCOM, which the Ant Farm was great, but it's a lot more direct. It's menu driven. You go right to research, do your thing. You go right to engineering, do your thing. But this IP, you are developing relationships. You don't just have superheroes that are great in battle. You have these superhero personalities that it made perfect sense to allow the players to get lost in as well. In the shoes of the hunter and develop relationships with them.
And it's nice starting here in the hunter's room. You're going to wake up every day in your room. This is not very customized hunter room. It looks like we just moved in, right? We got stuff, we got draping, we got boxes there. So over the course of the game, you can, of course, customize this how you want.
And like you've done before, you can, take your own pictures and do your own thing, which is always super fun. And what did you do in your room? Didn't you put your own pictures of the hunter everywhere in other people's rooms?
I did. I took pictures of the hunter laying by the pool. And then I would put them in my own room, which was a little weird. I was like Hunter, the Instagram influencer, right? I had pictures of myself laying by the pool, but then I would also go into heroes' rooms and put them in the picture frames in their rooms. So
I think we're gonna move into
it's probably a good idea.
Some of the dialogue that we can expect to see.
And before we dive out into the common room and the sprawling Abbey, there are a lot of different things that you can engage with, and it looks like Blade, who we just went on a mission with, has a private Superlink message for us.
Right, Superlink being the social media of the heroes,
Yep.
right? Where you can see posts from the heroes, and a lot of that stuff is narrative, and it's meant to be fun. But they can also directly message you, and there's gameplay effects to that as well.
Been watching the way you handle yourself out there, Hunter.
So this is the result of investing some time with Blade and different heroes, right? And this is one of the results, the rewards of the friendship system.
Yes, yeah. So
Friendly competition.
this is a conversation we're having because we've invested time, as you said, with Blade, and you can do that in a lot of different ways. You can fight alongside them, spar them, hang out with them at night. And once you do, then
You see they can react to things you say right there?
Else I should know.
Yeah, anything goes. Just don't touch the shades.
Such a good line.
Now, you
There it is. There's another good line.
Say what?
Yeah. Let's see if anybody can.
Ding, ding.
I want to know. I want to know because that's one of my favorite lines. Does anybody know what that's in reference to?
Let's see in the chat.
We already got it through legal, so it's fine. All right. So.
And so you get a lot of rewards from this stuff too, right?
Yeah, right. So what happened is that we have reached one of the friendship level ups with Blade. And you earn cosmetic rewards. You also earn gameplay rewards as well. So Blade will begin to unlock his passive abilities. If you want to earn a hero's legendary abilities and their legendary suit, you're going to have to reach the maximum friendship level with them.
And we're about to see the dynamic between some of the different characters in the Abbey, right?
Yeah, I mean, I want to call out too, when I say we had to do more justice to the strategy layer of the game, which turned into the Abbey and the RPG, our team has done an incredible job of really diving into something that's new for us, which is narrative, right?
Yep.
And you're going to see a little glimpse of this. We have some pretty bombastic cinematics, which you're going to see later. This is an example of a lot of the rewards, the little piecemeal drip feed narrative rewards you're going to get going throughout the campaign as well.
Right.
Don't tell me to calm down, Robbie. The others are in there with freaking Caretaker planning their next move against Fascist, and they are totally leaving us out. Again!
This is the Avengers.
I love Nico always kicking up dust. I really do.
She does not take shit from anybody.
No, she doesn't. So this is cool because this is the young sons sort of going through
Right.
a moment where they are questioning the Avengers.
They are so powerful. Why could Strange not help us save Wanda?
Doc's a good guy, okay?
So yeah, and again, this is a running narrative in our game. So people have asked like, hey, there's a lot of Avenger characters in the game. Why is that if this is a Midnight Suns game? Well, one, because we want a larger cast. But two, there is a continual narrative thread that you will see right off the bat of the friction between Earth's mightiest, the Avengers, who rightfully think, hey, we should take the lead on this, and then the Suns, which are younger, these Midnight Suns, who are younger, but they're more capable of handling supernatural enemies, and that is bound to create friction. And it does. And so that's a big storyline throughout the game, and you see just one little taste of it.
So, Jake,
Yes.
people want to know, is it a Rocky reference?
Yeah!
There you go.
Rocky 2,
Well
Apollo
done.
Creed, ding,
Well done.
ding, baby.
That's
That's
right.
awesome.
That's right. This generation knows Creed, but yes, Rocky. All right, so
That's right.
We
That is
also
awesome.
we got another question from Twitch. Can we use the Abbey casual outfits in field missions? Only half joking, but let me fight demons in pajamas is the question.
I would love that. Everybody, at least internally, knows my love for the Abbey outfits. You cannot take the Abbey outfits to fight with, although the Hunter has some skins that, some like combat skins that are actually, there's one combat skin that's really pretty cool and casual looking. So there is a way to do that, but not all the Abbey outfits can be used. Although the reverse is true, and you can put combat skins on most of the heroes in the Abbey. So if you wanted to, you could have Blade wearing his tactical suit in the Abbey, which is cool. Some people prefer that.
Although it makes me
wonder what.
Oh, so we're talking to
This
Blade
is one of
here.
my favorite conversations.
it is a great conversation, and we'll actually let this one play out. After the mission, you do get a large amount of optional conversations if you choose to engage with these heroes, learn more about
Not
their backstory.
required, not mandatory.
Nope.
But
Nope.
you're gonna want to probably, right? And there's lots of benefits to this.
When facing a demon, aim for the heart.
always do.
Then why are you talking to me when you should really be talking to them? Or at least, her.
Say
what? What is she implying?
You have many abilities, Daywalker. Lying is not one of them. Admit what you feel about Carol. You owe yourself that much.
Admit what? that I feel a sense of admiration and respect for a fellow
I
talent.
love Blade.
He's now, methinks thou dost protest too much.
Face the truth as bravely as you would your enemy, Blade. Your admiration for her reaches far beyond the battlefield.
You're delusional, Hunter.
He didn't like that. Did you see that? We got a -1 heart.
You are
He
actually
lost friendship with him.
I'm not going there, Hunter. Let's just drop it.
consider it dropped.
Oh,
So
Eric.
before
in
we
this
run and tell
conversation?
Carol
Oh,
about Blade's feelings for her, chat is demanding that we pet the dog, Garth.
Oh my gosh, I did pet the dog. You guys want another? All right,
Let's
let's
see.
do it.
Who's a good girl? It is my
That
Charlie
is
girl.
Charlie,
Yes.
our beloved companion.
Yep.
Such a good girl.
And for the cat folks, I've said this before, but just so you know, there is a cat in the game as well. But
There is.
like an actual cat, you're not going to find Ebony unless they want to be found.
So Jake, when we also talk about hero dynamics and the other side of being a hero too, like this is a really good example of all the things you can optionally do. We saw optional dialogues, we saw the team debate. There's also things that you can do after missions called hangouts. This is actually a variation of it. Since it's not at night, we can go to a
Typically
haven
they happen
if
at
you want.
night, but yeah, you can, if you find, you can find these havens on the grounds, and we'll talk about exploring the grounds a little later, but you can find them, and what that does is open up a daytime date. We'll call it a hangout.
Yeah, hangout.
A daytime hangout with
activity.
the hero of your choice. And you want to choose the right one for the right hero. They all have different likes.
What does chat want to do? Do they want to paint? Or do they want to go bird watching with Robbie Reyes? There's dozens of different activities.
Yes.
All right, throw your answers in chat. In the meantime, I'm going to ask a question.
Yes.
So, can the devs explain if the experience with Midnight Suns will have the same variety where no two runs are the same like it is with XCOM?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. So we have like an overarching narrative, but the missions, the narrative missions, even if those are going to be the same technically, they're going to play out differently. And then in between all the narrative missions, of course, there's tons of general missions that are procedurally driven, and what those missions are and which heroes you take on those. You cannot invest in every hero to maximum friendship, not even close.
Right.
So your playthroughs are going to be completely different as you choose to, well, this time I want to really invest in the friendship with this hero and that hero. So.
All right, we're going painting, Garth.
Painting, let's do it.
That's
Before
right.
we do that, Jake, I know you're really interested as well. I just accepted a hero request from Magic.
Okay.
So you want to talk, like those can emerge also, talk about different playthroughs at different times.
Yeah, though they're procedural, so they may just be asking you a simple question. Hey, settle this for me, Hunter, and you choose one or the other. A hero request is, hey, over the next couple days, can you do this little mini quest at the Abbey for me, Hunter? And it could be very simple. It could be a little more complex.
Street racing.
Robbie Reyes got some painting skills, maybe.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Right?
Let's wait till we see the canvas.
You get rewards based on what they like somewhat, correct?
Yes. So when you choose to hang out with heroes in many different ways, right? Kind of blocking it. You can earn rewards for hanging out with them. If you do a hangout particularly well, you choose an activity they really like. You give them a gift during the hangout, a gift that's appropriate for that hero. You choose the right dialogue options. Nice choice there.
Thank you.
And you earn friendship with your dialogue. If you have a really great hangout, you can earn extra cosmetic rewards, extra outfits, and so outfits for the hunter, outfits for the hero. In addition to that, your friendship's going up, and then you could achieve a new friendship level, at which point you get like really big gameplay outfits.
So this has been, we've just packed in a lot of great interactions with these different heroes. Although we left out poor Peter, there are so many mechanics that you can do here. And as you see here, there's an option called compliment as well too. So we're gonna give Peter some love if you want to give a little breakdown of what compliments are.
Yeah, so compliments, very simple, right? Like you can earn compliments by completing jobs around the Abbey as you train, as you level things up, as you complete research. Now you can if you had multiple compliments, it's tough. If you want to compliment somebody back to back, then the hunter, they're gonna give an awkward compliment. Like you kind of got to space your compliments out, just like if you were like, hey, Rachel, I like you a lot.
Okay.
And then if I turned to you again, it was like, hey, Rachel, your teeth look nice, you know, right? The second
She'll
compliment.
start being skeptical. She'll start getting a little
Yes,
skeptical.
right.
Yeah, like, what do you want from me?
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's how it works in the game too. So you kind of want to spread the compliments around, or you can just awkwardly compliment people. I guess you can
So-
play your hunter however you want.
As we head into the Forge, we did get a question. If you drop below certain friendship level thresholds, do you lose any of the benefits like cards and passives that you've gotten?
No. So we kind of floor it, right? So the idea is that once you gain a friendship level, it is floored to that level. And so then if you go and talk to that hero and you just say the worst things possible to them, we aren't going to take you below, your friendship level won't drop. But you're going to have to make that, make all the friendship you've lost up, but we won't ever drop you a level.
So this is one of the core gameplay mechanics. When we talk about progression, squad progression, upgrading your heroes, and that's the Forge. And we're going to show off the basic mechanics here for the first time.
Right, so the Abbey is obviously more than just interacting, these fun, like optional friendship interactions with the heroes. There's a lot of gameplay that you do in the Abbey. In this case, we've got this odd couple of Tony Stark working on the technology side. We've got Doctor Strange working on the more mystical side. Together, we meet with them down in the Forge most days to earn rewards. We're talking to Tony, almost when you return from a mission, you're going to have this resource called Coil with different rarity levels. You can bring it to Tony, and he will convert it into new abilities for you. And here we can select 2 abilities because we've upgraded our Abbey. It's going to start with you and can only select one of these abilities.
Which I think we're going to have an opportunity. I mean, again, and similar to XCOM, upgrading your facilities are crucial towards advancement.
Yeah.
And so before we get there, though, you mentioned Strange, Stark. So Strange has a very important role as well.
Right, so you can recover mystic artifacts. They also have varying levels of rarity on the battlefield. When you do, you bring them to Doctor Strange. He will unlock, from there he will unlock a new research level. There's a lot that goes on here, right? There's resources here. You even earn an artifact. Your research level's increased. This opens up new fields of study. So after researching an artifact, we can look at our research and see all these different available ways to, all these things you can research. Now, you have to have the research level. You have to invest in the heroes. So we see here, the Way of the Fang, that's a blade research, right? And so to actually unlock that, you have to complete 3 missions with Blade.
Yep.
So you have to have the research level, then you've got to take Blade on 3 missions. And so again, this is just the push and pull of a typical Firaxis game where it's like, okay, I want to research this, but that means I've got to upgrade 3 Spider-Man abilities. So I'm going to start working on that. And in the meantime, maybe I'll work on this instead.
Yeah, and actually I've gone on prior missions and even done things like maybe it's a hero request where I have enough credits now to be able to upgrade the Forge even further. And this is an item bench, which is a really powerful upgrade.
Right. So through research, you're going to unlock all kinds of things you can build around the Abbey over the course of the game. The item bench allows us to construct combat items. You can then upgrade the item bench. So yeah, these are really powerful upgrades that you can add to the Abbey. Is Charlie following you?
Yeah, I had her follow me. I always feel better when I have my trusty dog by my side.
Okay.
There she is. So this is the item bench, which we just purchased. And this is the start of it. There are so many cool abilities that the team has come up with that you can add to modify your basic cards that your heroes have.
Awesome. So we talked a little bit about upgrading cards. So you want to head over to the
We are.
To the yard?
That's where we're going now.
Amazing.
So that's the Forge, which is really the start of your basic hero progression. And now we are entering the yard, which Blade oversees. And the first thing we're going to do is actually upgrade some abilities.
Right. Superheroes, if they have a superhero base, they have to have a place to superhero train, right?
Yep.
Everybody has a training yard. And so the yard master for us is Blade. He's going to oversee our training. This time, he's going to oversee his own training, right? Are you going to upgrade his?
Yeah, I'm going to upgrade and make him bleed. I mean, that's a pretty powerful card, particularly when you have deeper enemies. So let's get that upgraded. And what did that do? That actually allows you to have bleed on multiple cards. The next 2 cards you play for 3.
It's going to draw 2 of his abilities now.
Yep.
And the next 3 damage, the blade damage card is going to apply bleed.
And I think we can also upgrade one of the Hunter's cards. Since we now have 2 slashes, we can turn slash into slash plus, which...
Right. Every ability in game, of which there are hundreds, can be upgraded. And I'm not even going to talk about, you can also modify every ability with random perks. That's later in the game, but your abilities can be upgraded and modified very extensively.
Now, back to developing relationships. This is another vector that you can engage in to really bond and grow with some of the heroes, correct?
Yeah, so sparring, it's a way to grant different types of rewards, typically a combat bonus for the hero you spar with. Just as importantly, it builds friendship with that hero. So you also kind of want to spread this around, choose who you're sparring with. But yeah, so we see here like, oh yeah, and then you can obviously make a very cool poster. That is a very Spider-Man poster.
That's a great Spider-Man poster right there.
To the animators and the artists.
Look at that, boom.
We did get a question from YouTube. Are the abilities you unlock in the Forge random, or is it dependent on who you currently have in your team?
So it is dependent upon who you took on the last mission. So if you want abilities for heroes, take them on a mission, because when Tony provides new abilities, he will choose them randomly from the possible abilities from the heroes that just went on the mission. And of course, their abilities have different rarities, and so the rarity of the coil you open is going to contribute to how many, what types of abilities you unlock there. And so you see all of these options, right? All of these dialogue options, right? Like Nico wanted to talk to us out in the yard. There's all these optional dialogues you can engage in.
Carol wants to talk.
Carol wants to talk, and we got a secret for her.
Caretaker. Let's see. I think Caretaker. I bet Caretaker.
I couldn't help but hear some.
She overheard that argument.
Of course, Caretaker hears everything.
Now, one of the other things we haven't touched on.
All right, so this is the balance
correct?
stuff, right?
Yep.
So, and I'll talk just for a second what it means to be light or dark. It doesn't mean good or bad, right? The hunter is always a good hero. It's more of are you a hero or an anti-hero? And that kind of means, does the end justify the means? Well, an anti-hero would say, okay, we'll use whatever means possible. Look at that, she said.
She seemed angry about Wanda.
I want to grieve too, but none of us have that luxury right now.
Caretaker,
pretty cold.
Caretaker is tough, man.
That's
I
cold.
love Caretaker. She's got to run a team, man. She doesn't have time for.
I actually selected the light option because we're going to play a few more missions. I mean, this is a huge stream, and we want to start building our hunter a little bit more towards the light, towards the light path.
Yep, and there are rewards. Yeah, there are rewards we haven't even talked about where your collar. There are lots of different passive rewards that you can gain for choosing one path over the other.
All right.
Just as a quick reminder, before we head into the war room, that we are running a Twitter poll right now. So if you haven't, head on over to @MidnightSuns and vote for who we run with the player choice character in our next combat mission.
Which we're about to do in probably 30 seconds. But before that, we're not gonna jump into Central right now. But do you want to give a brief overview of some other options that you have?
Yeah. So Central. This is another area of the Abbey that you can upgrade. You can interact with. This is Captain Marvel's station. She can allow you to send heroes out on what we call ops, which are non-combat operations that the hero can earn specific rewards for themselves. They're little narrative operations where they can earn hero-specific rewards, and so that's a whole area of gameplay as well.
All right, you guys ready to go on another mission?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, and we will find out who we are taking on our mission.
Now, while we're waiting to, again, I cannot understate how amazing this team has done with pulling off an epic, huge story, narrative story. And I talked before about, you saw a sequence. We also have some great cinematics that set up some of our Golden Path missions. And that's what you're about to see. And then we're going to go on our first narrative mission that really has a whole little mini arc bookended around the mission itself. So you guys are going to get a chance to see some of these really cool cinematics and get introduced to a new character.
We do have the results of our Twitter poll up.
Uh-oh.
So Spider-Man has won out.
Let's do it.
Our favorite.
Luckily, we just trained with him. I don't know. Maybe he'll be ready to go.
There you go.
I mean, everybody loves Spidey. You can't deny Spidey.
All right, here we go.
There it is again. That strange gamma energy signature. Green numbers, as Bruce says. The Hydra tech we found is saturated with the same fluorescence.
And what does Dr. Banner have to say about that?
Can't get an answer from him. He's gone off the grid. AWOL. Happens sometimes when he's working something out.
What kind of something?
The really big kind.
Then what now?
We find ourselves another doctor who specializes in creepy gamma science. Just so happens I know of one who recently opened up shop in the area. Of course, he's barking mad.
Faustus.
One and the same.
Well, I suppose you two do have some catching up to do.
Oh, Oh, you know, Hydra secrets, dastardly plans, the odd bomb launched in my face.
How soon before we begin the hunt?
Based on the intel we've recovered? Now.
I love
Let's
Carol.
go.
She always got the drama. I love that.
Now, and by the way, Blade hates this bowl because he was like, did you tell Carol about me? Did you tell Carol what I said? All right, so we took Spidey.
I just want to check out my deck before we start. You always want to make sure you have your latest cards. Looks like Carol might have something. Yeah, so we have an upgraded one step ahead. I want to put that in my deck instead of the baseline.
And that's better for her. You got to play cards to get her into her binary state where she becomes incredibly powerful. She's an absolute nuclear weapon when she gets charged up. So.
And Spidey does have a combat bonus.
Right. So because we, hey, this is great.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah. So
good choice, Twitter.
Because we sparred with him, he earned a bonus, and that means that at the start of the mission, he is going to the entire squad will start with 3 heroism, which is awesome.
And again, banging the narrative drum, it's so cool. Even before these missions, you'll hear conversations as you can between Spidey and Carol. Carol is always going to come on this mission. This is one of her missions with the Hunter. But even Spidey or any other wild card you bring may get involved in that conversation as well too.
Yep.
So there's so much narrative depth to this game that the writing team, the Abby gameplay engineers pulled off.
I think this is one of the first story missions we've played on stream.
I think it's the first.
I think it is. It is the first. So walking through Limbo here. You can see Limbo. Lovely, isn't it? Caretaker kind of gives us the breakdown for our mission. So she's kind of letting us know what we're heading into here. We are headed out to the docks where old Faustus and Hyder are busy.
That's right.
I don't think we've talked about Faustus. Well, guess what? Faustus is in the game. He's a real son of a gun, too.
Yes.
Careful. She will no doubt be very temperamental after such a long journey. My beautiful, terrible girl will be free to fight soon enough. Ready to unleash Mother's righteous fury upon her enemies. Weak, the ignorant, the unworthy.
My point exactly.
Well, that certainly looks familiar.
Dark magic. I can feel it, just like before.
Plus, he's boosted the gamma signature. Must be the new and improved extra evil model.
Ah, yes. Coming soon to a deserted dock near you.
So glad you discovered television.
Whatever this thing is, it's clearly important to Faustus.
And Lilith.
Which means it's worth a closer look.
Way ahead of you there.
The drama.
All right.
Love it. Gets me pumped up going in. And it really is a nice alternative to the general missions that you can go on over and over. These missions do have higher stakes. They have narrative stakes, and they help push things forward.
All the cinematics.
Yes.
Cinematics. Right, Rachel?
That's right.
Yes.
Rachel was a very, very, very big part in our cinematics, so she and her team deserve a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, credit to the team. We made a ton of awesome content.
A ton is right.
Yeah,
right, Rachel?
There is a
Rachel
ton.
and I had lots of conversations about that.
That's right. If you like narrative content, if you like awesome storytelling, this is definitely the game for you.
Yes.
All right, so we have Spidey. As a result of the poll, we got Spidey. What we want to do, just talking tactically here, just to recap how these heroes work. So Captain Marvel is an absolute offensive powerhouse, but she has to build up to it. So she needs to play a lot of her abilities before she gets supercharged. Spidey is great at distributing damage to multiple targets. He's also great at using the environment, right? So actually this is a pretty good pairing. Spidey and Captain Marvel's a pretty good team up. And then what kind of hunter do we have?
We're just starting. It's still a relatively early game hunter. There's some light abilities in there, so we're starting to build the light hunter.
Okay.
And we have a marksman, is that right?
We do.
Yes, they are. Oh, they're a pain in a good way, in a fun, tactical way. Here we're going to show off Captain Marvel's photon beam.
And again, that's a great example of optional positioning, which really helps you get through the battle faster. We were able to take out, do pretty high damage to 3 enemies at once just by moving Captain Marvel to the right line of play.
Yep, and as Rachel pointed out, we've got a marksman there, very, very dangerous enemy. And when they take damage, they can potentially cloak on you.
Yep.
And they take some time. They're going to, dial in their shots, but when they do, they will automatically KO you here. So they do so much damage. So you really got to worry about that marksman for sure.
All right, we're out of heroism, out of play, so end in turn time.
We did get a question from Twitch. Can you spec the hunter to be a tank?
Yes. So there are some abilities that grant block to the hunter. There's so many abilities. So there's a really cool ability that it does a lot of damage, but if it just stays in your hand, then at the start of every turn, you'll build up block. There's an ability that grants you an enormous amount of block. So yes, you can turn the hunter into a tank. They don't have as much in terms of taunting, but yes, they can definitely build up a significant amount of block. And that really comes from that center power ability branch, which is more about fighting. The light branch is more about healing and supporting your squad mates. The dark branch is about being very powerful, doing a lot of damage, but at a cost to yourself and your squad mates. And then the power branch is more about just fighting.
A question from Twitch. Can we talk about what the collar does on the hunter?
Yes, we can. I think we have. Do we have the ivory collar?
We have the ivory collar on, and it looks like the Shadow Stalker passive, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yep, it is.
Oh, okay. Well, this is pretty early in game to have that passive. That's because we have the Midnight Sun suit. Yes. So the Hunter's Collar, this is something we haven't talked about before. You earn collars generally as a result of your balance choices, but you can also earn collars as a result of some narrative events in-game. The collars add a passive to the Hunter, and you can have multiple passives as a Hunter. But these first basic collars, they reward you for every light, if it's a light collar, then you'll be rewarded for every light ability you play. Eventually you can build up to be granted a reward. Oh, and I don't want to speak over this awesome cinematic.
Oh, do you want one?
Others will be done.
Typical.
For Hydra.
Faustus is getting defeated at this
That's
point.
right.
I mean, when you all play the game, you have a little bit of a history with Faustus at this point.
Yeah, you've got a long history with the guy.
Now, there are more mysteries related to the collar narratively, right? So I think we want to keep that for as a mystery. And if you want to learn about that, remember to pre-order, and you will get to find out on December 2nd when Marvel's Midnight Suns launches.
That's a good
Wow,
point.
that was amazing.
Nailed it, right?
Thank
you.
You are wasted on production.
That's right. I'm interviewing for marketing team now.
Yes, I should say there's gameplay to the collar, but there is a very large narrative to the collar. That's really important. And yes, in the narrative, we will not talk about what that is.
All right, I want to. So this is a pretty cool objective as well, too. You have to get to Dr. Faustus. You can see he has an enormous amount of protection around him, primarily through this shield guard, which is protecting him. So you have to break through the shield guard to be able to capture him, to get through the first part of the objective. What I'm going to do is move Spidey over here.
Okay.
And let's see if we can. I could vault, but this is also a minion. So I'm going to use Quick Kick to get this back and blow up this whole area.
Okay.
VIPs are protected from AoE, just if there's going to be that question about that.
Right.
But you can take out the enemies for sure.
Yeah. And he's shielded, so.
Yep.
Now, each hero has their own cards and their own abilities, but we've talked about it before. They all have the ability to make a move, and they also all have the ability to interact with the environment, right? They can all do that.
Yes, they can all do that. And so as a part of, you have one move for the squad that can be shared among them, but there are so many different ways, like anything in this game. You can generate moves through lots of different abilities, through lots of different choices. But then also, yes, every hero can use the environment. And so you can spend heroism to use the environment. Spidey, on our team, Spidey is definitely the best at that. He's always a good choice, and he earns passives that'll make him even better at that. But yeah, you can definitely use the environment with any of your heroes.
I have one heroism left. Let's see if I can do anything else. Could certainly take out that minion. I could vault. Oh, that would be cool. We'll take out this guy with this mission card, which would give us golden opportunity, which is very strong if we want to use that later in the mission.
That's good. All right, good. So we earned this. Now, we don't have any card plays left, but that is a powerful ability that if we wanted to play that.
We did get a question about what overkill is.
That's a deep cut. Okay, so overkill, you can earn overkill simply by doing more damage to an enemy than you need to KO them. But that comes into play later in the game. You can build a certain upgrade to the Abbey. Speaking of building upgrades to the Abbey, if you build a certain one, then when you overkill certain enemies, you can then interrogate them. So when they get knocked out, they won't just fall over. There's a chance that they'll fall on their knees, and then you can spend a card play to go over and interrogate them and earn rewards.
Guessing the Darkhold doesn't have any spells for boosting your card.
There we go. All right, so we have now captured Faustus.
Uh-oh.
But as the card would have told you, if you read that before.
I didn't read it. I was pressed A.
Capturing
that doesn't
Faustus,
happen, right?
That calls in reinforcements immediately, and I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah, I think I'll be fine. Let's see.
But yes, there are now a lot of bad guys. Now, some of the reinforcements that come in, they're not immediately going to attack our heroes. They're just bodies, but that's a lot. It's a lot of bodies.
Yeah, that is a lot of enemies.
It's all right. We will thin them out here. We have the world's mightiest. Let's see how this goes.
Do it in style.
I will try. I'm trying to get built up to Photon Beam.
That would be great. Is she binary yet?
She is not binary.
Okay. If you switch to her, let's see how many cards she needs to play to get to binary. Oh, just one more.
One?
We're going to be fine. Do you have Photon Beam?
I do have Photon Beam.
Oh, we don't have the heroism. So we could play a skill, her skill.
What is?
Oh, no cards will be drawn. Can't play it because you already have 4 cards in your hand.
You know what? Well,
You
going
could
to
redraw one.
Knee Strike. See what I get.
All right, play one step ahead.
Yes.
For her, which will give you the heroism you need to do Photon Beam, and also give you the card play you need to go binary. This is some deep tactics we're doing here.
That's right.
Now you can go binary. Do we have a move? You haven't used a move yet, have you?
I have not used a move, so now
you can
we
position
have everything
her.
we need. All right. Oh my
Find
gosh.
the
Now
best
we have to
place.
find the best line.
Right.
Which looks like it might be roughly. You think I can get these 4 guys?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Move there. Move
Let's
over.
do it.
Yeah. I think you can.
Right
You can get
about
them there.
Here.
Yeah. All right. So again, this is a tactical game. Positioning, of course, is incredibly important. We're going to use that to line it up there. There we go.
There it is, right?
There it is. There it is.
Oh no, that last guy's not. There he is. All right.
I think there's going to be like a new category of satisfying content on TikTok. Like, there's like slime videos. It's going to be like liming up photon. That's right.
Liming up photon.
Some ASMR type.
There you go.
All right. So we thinned it out pretty well, but there's still some work to do. Oh, the shield. So the shield guard, tell him what the shield guard did and then what he did unintentionally.
Right, so what the shield guard did was he has an ability where he discharges the amount of energy, so he does this big AoE attack. And we tell you ahead of time, his AoE attack is going to go off here. Now, his AoE attack went off. It didn't hurt anybody directly, but it did blow up a barrel, which was next to him. And when the barrel blew up, then it damaged him, and so he ended up knocking himself out. So that is just the beauty of positioning and tactics. So
Mr. Nightsings on YouTube asks, are there upgraded weapons or are they all purely cosmetic?
The weapons that come with the hunter's suits are cosmetic. And so you can change those. So no matter what skin your hunter is wearing, no matter what suit you're wearing, you can swap out to different weapons from different suits. And so the way that we represent the values of those skins, since it comes with the weapons, is in the passive. So every time you earn a skin from the hunter, you earn a different passive. And it doesn't matter what skin you're wearing, you can also swap out the passives as well.
Just threw him over the edge. That is very satisfying as well. That's TikTok category
There we
number
go.
2.
Oh no.
Oh. Have we?
No, we haven't.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be a little reveal here.
Okay, so what we have here is we're going to show a villain that we haven't talked about. People may have seen in some promotional materials, but we haven't talked about.
Yep.
We're about to start a new story with
Who was chosen to learn his secrets in the one true tome of creation. Do you really think I could be afraid of you?
Yeah.
What? I want to know.
Everything.
that's an Easter egg. But first, let's talk about this.
There he is.
So, Crossbones
Riker's Black
is
Ops
a...
Black Ops division. You should see the file Steve's got on the guy.
That's a villain in the game. You will fight him a few times, and he is a beast. He is a beast. He's not fallen. He's just a villain serving Hydra. But that shot on Faustus is meant to be an Easter egg. So if people want to dig deep to find out what that is, that's a reference we made to a very early comic there.
Look at that comic cover right there.
Yeah, that's a cool comic cover.
What a nice payoff. Again, fully editable. You guys can put these in the frames. You can share them on social media manually. This is such a cool system that the team put together.
And we did get a question that I think nicely leads into our next Abby segment, which is, what is gloss?
Ooh,
gloss.
That does lead in nicely.
Gloss is a cosmetic reward that you use to spend on all kinds of stuff in the Abbey. It is purely in-game. It's just an in-game reward that you can buy new, what we call palettes for the heroes. So if you want to recolor all of their combat suits, we have a lot of options to do that. If you want to turn one of your photos into a painting, you can spend gloss on many, many different things. You want to change your hair, you want to add makeup to your hunter, you want to change the outfit that your hunter is wearing. All of these cosmetic options cost gloss. Buying a gift for the heroes, you want to go buy Blade, a nice little book from the gift shop, you can do that, cost gloss.
So yeah, we're gonna put that to action right now, actually. We have a pretty good amount of gloss. We are leaning into the light hunter, and one of the joys of building your own Marvel superhero is unlocking different cosmetic options, and then making them look how you want them to look, since that's part of the huge appeal of all these heroes. So I'd like to go in and start making a light hunter.
Okay.
Before we go on the next mission. I think, she's passing that threshold. This was her sort of resurrection look, but there's a lot of cool things here we can do.
Yeah, I mean, we always show the same hunter just to be consistent, but there are a lot of cosmetic options the player has. Now, some of those, like the full eyes there, those you're gonna have to find over the course of the game.
Something else we don't talk about very often on stream is that there are 2 body type options for the hunter as well.
Yes, that's right. So you can change, and that you have to do at the very start of the game. You can't do that here. But yes, we have 2 different body type options for the hunter.
2 different voice actors.
2 different voice actors.
Fully
both
voiced.
Of them incredible.
Yeah.
Fully voiced. You have something in mind here. You're definitely going for a look here, huh?
Yeah, I'm thinking almost like, the White Wizard or something. I definitely have something in mind. Let's see what we can get. So also, you can also get different armor types.
You're not gonna put eyeshadow on?
I'll put eyeshadow on. You want eyeshadow?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's put on some eyeshadow.
Our artist did an amazing job. Obviously, there's so many options that we can't just sit here and show everything. But yeah, you can choose what kind of eyeshadow, and of course, you can choose the color you want for your eyeshadow. And then, of course, we have eyeliner, different versions of eyeliner, and lipstick, and just put some silver eyeshadow on there.
Yeah,
look at that.
actually, that looks good. Good call.
See?
We did get a question from Twitch. In a previous stream, you said that battles last 15 to 20 minutes, reading our receipts. How long is an average visit to the Abbey?
That's harder to define. That is much harder to define. It's a good question. I would say that depending on how much story and how much you like to interact with the story, there are a lot of optional options for you as a player. Whoa, look at all those skins. And so it could be 10 minutes. If a mission is 10 to 15, it could be 10 minutes in the Abbey. It could be shorter if you're not doing all the optional content. It could be a lot longer if you say, oh, today's the day I'm going to go out and explore the grounds.
I think that's the key with any good RPG. There's so much optionality there. If you want to go straight line to combat, you almost can. Of course, you want to upgrade your cards. But if you want to immerse yourself more in the world, there's all these options to talk to all these heroes and legends at your discretion.
Right.
All right, we got a pretty good looking. Do you like the Battle Hunter?
Yeah, that's great.
All right.
And
Cool.
see that. Can you show the palettes real quick,
Yeah.
just to show real quick? Again, these you'll have to find over the course of the game, and you can earn these through friendship. You can earn these from hangouts. You can find them in different chests around the Abbey grounds. But yeah, there are lots of different color options. Every skin has many, many color options that you can unlock.
Oh, Easter egg. Jake worked on some of those palettes, right?
I did.
You did put in a lot of work on those.
I did. I love the palettes.
Yep.
I love the palettes.
Made them happen.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and sleep now. Is that right?
So yes, we are going to go to sleep. Let's cut away from gameplay, and then we're going to introduce another surprise and play with the hero that we haven't shown yet.
Ooh.
Yes.
I should have read my briefings.
He's like, who is that?
I'm sure I'll know exactly what's going on.
Moon Knight. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right.
Please send all comments about that joke to Garth on Twitter. Leave me out of it.
We did get a question on Twitch from Big Gay Dave. Love it.
All right.
I spent literal
Let's go.
days customizing soldiers in XCOM and XCOM 2. So, at Firaxis Games, can you customize all the heroes or just the player's hunter?
You can customize the other heroes, not as much as the hunter, because the hunter is meant to be more of a blank slate from a look standpoint. But you can, just as we were showing the palettes there for the hunter, the hero suits all have the same number of palettes, so you can customize their looks, and they have multiple skins that they can put on. We also have marketplace skins. Those are outside of the game that you could purchase, and they come with palettes as well. So there are lots of options to customize your heroes.
All right, and we have a mission to jump right into.
Oh, wow. So here
we are on our third mission.
Right.
We have our light hunter that we just decked out. Looking good, looking ready to intimidate the demons and take them down. We have magic again, who we all love. And then, who do we have over here, Jake?
So this is Wanda Maximoff. This is the Scarlet Witch. And I think that this is a nice pairing because based on the previous prequel short, we talked about how Wanda and Magic kind of met up. And they have a decent history in the comics, especially recently if you've been reading the recent X-Men comics. Yeah, it's a great pairing, and they pair up awesome tactically because what I said before about Magic is she's great at grouping enemies, controlling them and their positioning. Well, Wanda is a very big AoE hero, and so she does lots of area damage or area effect abilities, and so she is perfect when she is paired.
And I'm going to try to get to, well, we can actually do a nice little tandem here, use Inspire and get free use of this hero combo, at least from a heroism standpoint.
This is great. So Inspire, this is wonderful. And look at the upgrade on Inspire. It's a free ability. That's rare. That's very powerful. It's not even going to cost us card play. And because we only have one heroic ability in hand, you knew it was going to turn our hero combo into a zero cost ability. So that is a huge
Now,
win.
who do we want to use this on? I think the obvious choice is cut through the Guardian, but there's some other enemies on here. Have we played against Revenants yet? Do you know?
Oh.
So you might want to introduce the Revenants a little bit.
Do not want to let Revenants hang around.
There's all sorts of new enemies we haven't talked about at all, I think, here.
Yeah, there is.
Have we fought a Nest Mother?
I don't think so.
We haven't fought an Esmo. Oh my gosh, Jake.
What are we doing? Who's in charge of this stream right now? Yeah, so let's talk about the Revenant first. So the Revenant are very, very dangerous because what they can do is link their souls with another enemy. And that, when they do that, what that means is that they cannot be knocked out until they and the enemies they're linked with are fully knocked out. So they will just keep reviving each other and sharing health, and reviving each other and sharing health. So once they link up, you're in for a long fight. It makes them particularly gnarly, but they're fun from a tactical sense.
They are.
And of course, they do exactly what you'd expect for a second ability. They drain health, and they can heal them and their soul link buddies up together.
They also are attracted to bleed, correct?
They are. So if you can, they will attack anything that's bleeding. The last target that was bleeding, they will attack, even if it's an ally. Right?
Anything that's bleeding.
Right.
Which there's some really cool deep tactical gameplay.
Why did you bring a combat
imagine.
item that inflicts bleeding?
Didn't. What do we got? We got salve, healing
Well,
salve.
why are we talking about it? No, I'm just kidding.
Should have brought Blade, right?
Blade is great against the Revenant, which the Revenant is kind of an alternative name for vampires. So you would expect Blade to be great against them, and he is, right?
So we have lots of new enemies, but let's talk a little bit about Wanda as a character. What's it like bringing her into battle?
So she is very, very powerful. You have to play through a bit of the game to get to Wanda, and we won't say why. Because we've already talked about the fact that you'll also be facing, Wanda in multiple forms. Maybe.
That's right, and you can find out on December 2nd when Marvel's Midnight Suns comes out, right?
Yes, Wanda bad? Yes. Wanda good? Somebody should make a movie about that. Anyway, yes, so Wanda is very powerful. She builds up power over time. Everybody has sort of like a key thing they're great at. Wanda is area of effect. So she has a really powerful passive that anybody who's close to her, whenever the turn starts, she can damage enemies.
Let's see what we can do here with her first ability. This is Hex Field.
That's Hex
Looks
Field,
like it's
right?
critical, which is great.
So you're going to need to move, right? Because it's anybody around her. And so you see, when you move as Wanda, it shows you this is her area of effect. Now, the cool thing about Wanda is that she has a skill that will then increase all of her area of effects by 25%, or if you upgrade it by 40%. So you can get these massive area of effects on Wanda, and then she can kind of take over the battlefield.
Leave some for the rest of us.
So we showed those combat items. Can we talk a little bit more about combat items and how they work in Tactical?
Yes, so, we showed a little earlier, we actually built the item bench, and as we said, you can upgrade it. You can research combat items, you can find combat items. The way combat items work is that they are free to use. You can use them at any time, and they can have really powerful effects. I think we only have some basic ones here, but you can get up to like legendary combat items that have incredible powerful effects. The thing about combat items you should think of them as akin to potions, because when you use them, they're gone. You're gonna have to replace them when you go back to the Abbey next time. So there is you're kind of strategically thinking about, man, if I use this combat item, I'm gonna have to replace it, like a potion. But I would say, like we all know about potions, don't leave them until the end of the game, Mm-hmm. Right? We always end with too many potions.
They're there to use them.
They're there to use them and get you out of a tough spot.
We did get a question from Twitch. Does the mission ever force you to choose a certain hero so they're all leveled evenly, or unused heroes, do they level as you go?
So, we have a system where heroes, if you haven't used them, there is a minimum level cap. And as the hunter's level increases, we will always keep other heroes within 2 levels of them. So, even your unused heroes, they will continue to level up, so they're viable from a combat standpoint, but really, level is a very small part of how powerful a hero is, because if you're not using a hero, you're probably not upgrading their abilities, you're probably not modifying their abilities. So they will still be underpowered compared to your other heroes, but they will always remain viable because there are so many heroes on the roster. By the end of the game, you're gonna have 13 heroes to choose from, that you can't keep them all leveled to the same level. And so we want to make sure that at any point, if we say, hey, there's this Nico mission and you really want to go on it, that's fine. She'll be fine if you haven't played with her at all throughout the game. She'll be fine and still a viable character, but there will be a power level difference. Oh, look, our collar just fired off there. So what that means is you used enough light abilities to trigger this passive effect, and so the effect of the ivory collar, which you have, is the next attack card is not discarded. That is huge if you use that on the right attack card.
Yep. Which I don't think that's a heroic, so I will need to see if I can draw another attack card. I'm actually pretty sure I'm gonna need to do some redraws here to see what I got.
Yeah, Wanda is pretty heroic, and so is Magic, and so that's the thing, is you really want to support them with some heroism. Her skill card there, you've got 2 card plays, so, or you could just use the Hunter, I guess.
We did get a question from Twitch. Was Scarlet Witch always planned to be so important to the game's story? Implying, I think, she's now a very big part of the Marvel Universe.
Yes, yeah, and it was coincidence. When we were developing the story for this game, we felt very clever referencing things like the Darkhold, you know? And as we've seen some characters throughout our story, we thought these were deep cuts. And then, of course, you come out years later and you're like, oh, yes. It was a total coincidence, but yes, Wanda was always, she's one of the most popular supernatural characters in the Marvel Universe, so we always knew we wanted to be a centerpiece of this game, and Wanda is such a cool character. She has such an interesting history. She has an enormous amount of power, and so the challenges of sort of like harnessing that power has always been Wanda's story, so yeah, we always knew Wanda was going to be central to our narrative, and she is, and I'm excited for people to learn more about that narrative. When, Rachel?
December 2nd, when Marvel's Midnight Suns launches.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jake.
I'm sweating a little bit here, guys.
Have the Revenant linked up? I'm sorry, I didn't notice if they soul linked with anybody.
They have not yet. But I need to whittle this down because Magic is incapacitated. I didn't have enough heroism to revive her because I was trying to get through to the Nest Mother. So this is really a race to take out the Nest Mother.
Nest Mother and the Revenant that's a tough combo. And they're not linked? Well, they're linked with each other.
With each other, yes. Uh-oh, now they're all going after the Hunter. This could be bad. They're gonna make her bleed. No. There's other status effects that you have to be wary of against these Lilin as well, too.
Right.
Another question from Twitch. Will earning all trophies/achievements require multiple playthroughs, or can everything be achieved in just one playthrough?
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to remember all the achievements at this point.
That's gonna be...
I think it is much easier to...
Really the best you can do.
I think it really is gonna require playing past a single game. I think that there is a New Game Plus mode, which I haven't really talked about yet, and we'll hold off on talking about that, but that will make it much easier to complete all the achievements. But yeah, I think that I think it's feasible, but don't hold me to that because I don't remember every one of the achievements at this point.
If it's possible, someone will do it the day
If it's possible, someone will do it. Yeah, that's true. It's true. Oh, Garth, you've resulted to shoving the Nest Mother at this point?
Look, I am rushing the Nest Mother because I am in a little bit of trouble here. So
okay, you've got Unleashed, although you don't really have a lot of card plays. Unleashed is going to give you 2 heroism.
It's going to give me 2, so maybe I do it.
And then your Hex Field's going to be a little more effective. You've got Patience, which is one of my favorite Hunter abilities. But
Patience would take her out.
Chat is telling us to invoke the power of Stan Lee. I think Stan is behind me in my camera shot, so he's here watching over us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stan.
In honor of Stan.
That's right. Send us some power here.
Garth, you're not gonna let him down, are you?
No. Now that I know the stakes have raised to satisfy Stan Lee.
That's right.
We are going to get focused and get this done.
He would say, cry Excelsior and let slip the dogs of war. So.
Is there now? What do I need for Patience? 6 or 5?
Yeah. So Patience is a really cool Hunter ability. Again, one of the many Hunter abilities. What it is so incredibly does tons of damage, but it costs a ton in heroism. Every turn it's in your hand, the heroism cost drops by 1. So if you can find a way to turn that heroism cost into 0 through like an Inspire ability that we used earlier, that would be an amazing combo to pull off here.
I think I don't need this right now.
Have you been playing her Hex Bolt? I'd like to point out Wanda's Hex Bolt ability.
Oh! Heal Plus. I thought it was Inspire.
Have you been using Hex Bolt?
No, but yes, I used it once.
So every time you use it, then for the rest of the mission, Wanda's Hex Bolts add an additional chain, so they get incredibly powerful. If you invest in Hex Bolt and you play that card as often as you can, then in situations like this, you'd be fine.
Let's do this. I think, to be safe, I'm going to bring Wanda back.
Now?
I mean Magic back. And
nobody's targeting her, right?
Yeah, you're right. We don't have...
Bringing her back.
All right, they're
doesn't
going
really
after
help.
the Hunter.
I love Magic as much as anybody.
The Hunter's going down next turn. I don't know if I want to leave this just in Wanda's hand. All right, let's
We did
see.
get a question from the IGN YouTube stream from Steven Silverstein, and thank you to IGN for co-hosting our stream. First
Absolutely.
Off. And also, his question is, how many heroes are allowed on the field at a time?
Okay, so I'll say generally 3. Some missions, 2. Some ways you can play just 1. Some heroes have abilities that can change that number, so potentially 4. And you know, technically it'd be possible to get 5 at one point, but it'd be very difficult to do. So I would say generally expect there to be 3 heroes. Now the reason we do that is because of the idea that they all have their abilities, right? And so the more heroes you get, the harder it is to see a particular hero's abilities. And so 3 is the perfect number where you're always going to see abilities for all 3 of your heroes. You're going to see those abilities come up within a few turns. But yes, some heroes, like Magic, she has an ability that calls a reinforcement from the Abbey onto the battlefield, at which point you can have 4 heroes fighting at once. And that's a huge...
You're taking a beating
We'll be all right.
there.
I healed her up. So something else we didn't account for were the monuments
Yeah,
and
the
the altars.
monuments. Okay.
And after I attacked the Nest Mother, she went into concealment, which I forgot to check what the altar was, what the modifier was on the battlefield.
Oh boy.
And now I'm shackled.
Let me talk.
Who designed this thing?
Let me talk about the Monument of Men.
Oh, plus they're getting healed. Thanks,
so
Jake.
the thing about the Nest Mother, she's she's the general of the Lilith army. She speaks with Lilith's voice. So what she does is she can raise these monuments, these big glowing, obviously evil things that you should destroy. Every time one of those is raised, it has some passive effect that either hurts the heroes or it helps the enemies. And if too many of those things get raised by the Nest Mother, you are going to be in trouble.
Come on!
So the Monument of Shadows there, what that means is that every time you attack a Lilith, they have the chance to disappear, conceal after they're attacked. Which is what happened here, and that is... All right, so we're going to use Wanda. All right.
There you go.
Yes!
That is that was awesome. So if you destroy those monuments, it actually has a feedback effect on the Nest Mother, and she will take damage from it.
I have to say, for a while there, I could tell that the Joe, our lead designer, was smiling watching this stream.
1 star, but
yeah, the 1 star. That
I
is
survived.
rough. That is rough.
I survived. Please don't go to a close-up on me right now. I have beads of sweat coming down. That was a pretty intense mission, but it is part of the incredible fun of the game.
Yes.
Awesome. So we're loading up. I think we have a couple last things we want to show in the Abbey. Is that right?
We do. I mean, this has been such a fun stream. We've been able to show you all so much. I think we've been waiting for so long to be able to share with our community, like, this is more than just a tactical game, right? Yep. And hopefully you all can see that. Hopefully you guys are excited about it. But there's even more outside of the Abbey that we're going to spend a few minutes right now showing you all what that is.
Real quick,
Yes.
look at the shirt. This is a shop class shirt. So
You want another shirt?
The funny thing, we'll change shirts, but it's funny
Let's
because
go back to gameplay.
The hunter actually earned that shirt because she joined a shop class, right? So
Yes.
you can also join clubs at the Abbey, and when you join a club, you'll get a T-shirt, and the other heroes can show up wearing their shirt someday. So
Damn.
Yeah, that's a cool one, right?
All right, I'm taking that. Is that good?
Yeah, that's a great one. It's not exactly a light hunter
No,
look,
no,
but I
no,
like
no,
it.
no.
But
She wants to be more
badass
balanced
look.
now.
I like it. Yeah, so that's cool. Yes, so and we haven't even talked about the fact that you can join clubs, and at night sometimes you'll just go to the club and have a bunch of narrative and gameplay content with your fellow clubmates. Nothing like being in a book club with Captain America, right?
So we haven't shown too much of the night-based gameplay. You can do hangouts, but there is this whole other world out there, as you can see, deep into the forest, that has tons of secrets, tons of lore, and tons of puzzles and different areas of engagement that you can dive into.
Yeah, and again, we see lots of optional dialogues here, and it's hard to. This whole stream.
Can you sum up the library and the mystery system, please?
No, but I can. So what we have here is another famous, what used to be deep cut Marvel character, and Agatha Harkness here.
Was there something you wanted to tell?
Have you ever noticed an unusually ornate
So-
bowl sitting near my
Agatha kind of guides us around the mysteries of the Abbey. And another character that was deeply involved in the mysteries of the Abbey is Wanda. And we're kind of retracing her footsteps. When she was a Midnight Sun, she kind of explored the grounds. Now we're going even further. As the hunter, we're unlocking these grounds. And this is actually our ancestral home, is the Abbey.
This is a little cryptic.
And so what we do is every night we can visit with Agatha. We can read our book of mysteries. There's a book of secrets. There's all kinds of books in here that you can read. There's a cauldron you can interact with to craft different items. But these give us clues around different areas of the grounds we could possibly explore and uncover some of the lore behind who we are, who our family is, how we got here, some of the more supernatural lore about other characters in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, and this really, I think this is a great bird's eye view, literally, of what Jake is talking about. So before the last mission, we were in the Abbey, which here's a look at your Abbey right here, the forge, the yard, the common room, etc., the barracks where all the other heroes sleep. Now, once you start engaging with Agatha, you have the opportunity to explore all around the Abbey. And again, like any good RPG, there's an enormous amount of optional content out there, incredible vistas, incredible environment work, as well, narrative lore, secrets. There's a lot of secrets that you can get into.
A lot of secrets. And so, yeah, those, I think the community will have to work together to uncover a lot of them, which I think I'm really, really excited for.
So actually, we're going to fast travel. We're not going to do these secrets right now because we want you to uncover them. But there's some really cool puzzles that will sort of take down the gates and let you guys start to explore where these secrets could lie. And you talked about the cauldron, right? There's reagents you can pick up.
There are reagents, and again, this is tied to rain, tied to weather. There's a lot of things here, but you can collect reagents. You can also collect recipes, which players should be familiar with. But you can take them to the cauldron.
The standing stones. There is powerful magic at work here. He sees.
Right. So there are lots of mysteries like this out there on the grounds, and you know, uncovering how the standing stones work and how to interact with them, that happens over the course of the game.
Right.
But yes, you can craft different items and different things in the cauldron, in the library, with reagents you pick up.
And it's a really cool game flow. I mean, we have talked so much about you're a leader, you have to learn how to lead these other legends, but if you want to at night, to have this sort of solitary optional adventure that you get to learn more about your past, learn more about the footsteps that Wanda went through, and also where Agatha and Caretaker came from. The world is yours to be able to do that.
We kind of showed a little of Caretaker, Agatha, and the Hunter's story in that first prequel short, and the mysteries go deeper. Right? They go deeper into the relationship that all three of you had with each other. We touch on other aspects of your family. And it's all wrapped in this package of mysteries and puzzles sort of to solve. So.
Yeah, and there's some great gameplay and design out here too. We're not going to do one of the Word of Power challenges, but a lot of these areas are gated off.
Right.
So
there are tactical challenges that you have to succeed at, in addition to the mysteries and secrets. Yeah,
and that's where you can play in combat with Charlie, correct?
That is right.
Yep.
Yeah, the only one who has your back, the only one who can actually fight alongside you there is your loyal dog, Charlie.
Right, and Agatha herself is a bit of a mystery, right? She is not known to all of the characters in the Abbey.
That's right, that's right. You'll see you have a unique relationship with Agatha, and it has a really, really neat resolution that I'm excited for players to see. But Caretaker, Agatha have this long-standing relationship. You have a secret relationship with Agatha that unfolds over the course of the game, so it's really exciting. And all of this is wrapped up into the mysteries, which is really cool.
And this is a cool, I mean, we've shown you guys the prequel shorts. If you watched the Salem Sisters, you saw the backstory of the Hunter's birth, Caretaker, Agatha, and also a little-known character named Hiram Shaw. We have the roots of those types of story beats in the game. This is Hiram Shaw's church. And there's a whole mystery side quest that you have to go through to sort of uncover what happened here. And then it helps the hunter progress to the truth of their backstory. So it's a ton of content here. I think we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
But we wanted to show you guys a little tiny trickle of what's out on the grounds.
Yeah.
That's right. And we do have another prequel short that will run at the end of this stream once we've signed off. And I think it's really exciting to see all of these prequel shorts going live, giving more lore and backstory to the game.
Yeah, I think people are loving them. It is so cool to see them out there.
It really is. It is. And to be able to have this moment to share the full game loop with everybody as well too. I hope you all are enjoying it. I can't wait to see if you guys have additional questions. It's at Jake Solomon on Twitter. Don't ask me anything about what happened. But this really is a game that this entire team's proud of. We cannot wait. We cannot wait for you guys to play it. What is it? 2 weeks?
What is it?
Yeah.
What we got?
What's the
December
date
2nd.
again?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how many days. I don't want to think about it. I'm excited.
It's very soon.
Yeah, so don't forget to follow us on socials, at Jake Solomon, but also at Midnight Suns. Get ready for pre-orders and make sure that you're ready to play the game on December 2nd. And I think that's it from us. Thank you so much for tuning in and exploring the Abbey with us. We can't wait for our next developer live stream.
Previously on Midnight Suns. As you command. We can't rely on Dr. Strange alone. We'll need to form a team. Our first candidate is Ilyana Rasputina, or as she's known by the X-Men, Magic.
How should I approach her?
That is entirely up to you.
Hi, I'm Wanda.
You should know. I don't do teams.
Neither do I. That's why you're perfect for my new team.
Gabe, it's your big bro. So, I'm gonna have to work late tonight. I was delayed on my way in.
Hey, I heard about a car like yours in this, neighborhood.
Yeah?
Look very similar, but the one I'm talking about, the whole thing was on fire.
Uh-huh.
Thing is, it ran some friends of mine off the road. Oh yeah, put them in the hospital.
Sorry, man. Haven't seen any burning cars.
Why don't we change that?
Gabe, I got into a fight. I know. We should never go looking for them. But sometimes, little brother, the fight comes to you.
Go!
Gabe. I am the worst role model. Dinner's in the fridge. Don't forget to charge your chair. And if you do your homework before I get there, I might be willing to share a bowl of double chocolate fudge. Love you, Gabe.
Save your strength, Robbie. You'll need it for the fight ahead.
I told you, I wasn't interested.
And I told you I'd be back with a friend.
Whoa. Is she one of the X-Men?
Yes, she is. I want you to know just how serious my offer is.
No, my brother needs me.
Don't you want your brother to learn who you really are? To see you, both parts of you? To know you fought for what truly matters?
I'm no hero.
I'm not looking for a hero. I need a midnight sun.